Hi friends, it's Christine of Follow Sands Create. Welcome to my channel. Today is Sunday, February 19th, and this is episode number 45. This is my channel about cross stitch and sometimes some other crafty endeavors and things that I'm into. If you are new to my channel, I have just kind of wandered in. I hope you'll take a few minutes to spend some time with me and maybe get some inspiration. And if you are a returning visitor, then I'm thrilled that you're back with me, and I hope that you'll enjoy what I have to show today. And if you would, I'd love it if you would subscribe and you could ring the bell for notifications so you know when I have another video that shows up. Let's see. Today, I've got several things that we're going to talk about. I do want to kind of talk a little bit about the legacy discussion that we had in last time's video. I will do a shop update, but I'll do that at the end. So if that's not something that you're interested in, you can bounce out of here before that happens. I've got a little life update, some stitching, some rescues, and a giveaway. So let's buckle in and get going. So first, life update. Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Super Bowl 57. Yay, I'm very excited. Guess who the champs are? So it was a very bittersweet outcome in my household. When they kicked that final field goal, when the Chiefs kicked the final field goal with 8 seconds left, I couldn't help myself but to jump up off the couch and yell and arms up. And then I quickly turned around to my husband who's sitting at the other end of the couch and said, "I'm so sorry." And anyway, it was tough. And I did tell him, you know, like a day or two later, I kind of hope they don't play again, because it's so much nicer when everybody around you is, you know, full of pure joy the way you are when your team wins. And when half your family is like upset, it's kind of hard. So we kept the trash talking to a very, you know, minimum, and which was good. And, you know, everybody picked the Eagles to win. All the analysts picked the Eagles to win. And it was hard not to be like, you know, in your face. But anyway, so very excited. I have been out and gotten all the swag and you know, added to our bar area where we have a lot of memorabilia for both teams. And anyway, it was fun. Thank you for those who commented, showing your allegiance and supporting my team spirit. I appreciate that. And even those who said, you know, go Birds. Look, the Birds are my NFC team, so I was okay with that too. So what else? Well, Chris was only home for like 3.5 days, so our house progress was a little slow this time. We did do a little bit more painting. He got almost everything done in my craft room, which I'm very excited about. I just have to go back and do some finishing up, you know, around the trim and the lower part. He does everything at the top part, and I do everything at the lower part. So I just need to get back in. And there's a couple of spots that he kind of missed. I just need to do some touch up, and then hopefully that'll be it. I may have to wait for him to come back before I can put the room back together though, because he moved everything to the middle of the room, and my sewing machine's in there with the cabinet, and it's really heavy. So I won't really probably be able to get that back into place. So I was kind of, you know, bummed about that. But, you know, we spent Sunday, you know, with the Super Bowl stuff and having, you know, food and whatever. So we didn't do anything that day. And Saturday we went out antiquing for a big chunk of the day. So it was kind of nice actually just to do some relaxing instead of, you know, just hitting the ground running as soon as he arrives to get more stuff done. But we did get our beverage cooler installed, and we have to have some new windows installed. And so we did get all those ordered. So now I'm just waiting for windows. But anyway, you know, it's some progress. I'm happy about that. We hope this to be our forever house. So we are, you know, spending a little extra to make sure that the things that we're doing are what we're going to be really happy with. And I'm excited to, you know, to get the bulk of it done. I don't know if you're ever really finishing doing things in your house, but if you're a homeowner, but anyway, it'll be good. And thank you for all the encouragement for those who have been saying, good luck with your paint choices and things like that. I still have not picked a paint for here in the dining room area, which will actually not even be used as a dining room. But I still haven't picked the paint. I have swatches all over the place, and I keep looking at them, and I look at them in different time of the day with different lights, and some things just not really grabbing me. So I think I'm going to head out to another couple of different paint stores and see if I can find different colors from different lines of paint and see if something there grabs me. But anyway, let's see. Let's talk about the legacy discussion. Very interesting. But I will say, after reading everybody's comments, and if you're interested in that, go back and read the comments. Everybody seems to have a little bit of a different twist. I had some people who, made the comment that they saw it the way that I kind of had viewed it. But I think my big takeaway from the whole discussion and everybody's comments was, whether it be intangible or tangible items, the idea of legacy definitely seems to be about passing things on to the next generations, right? Or the future, whether it be an actual specific item or it be a value or thought process or something you've tried to instill in your children or grandchildren, or, something that you have carried maybe, in your life, and you want your kids to think, well, what would mom do in this situation? And maybe they make that choice based on what you had taught them or instilled in them, and then they make those same types of decisions, and that can be a legacy as well. So it was a very interesting discussion, and I'm really glad that we had that, and for all you who commented and shared in that, I really appreciate that. It's a good conversation, and I think it's one that can be ongoing. It's not just, we asked a question and answered it, because your legacy is every day, right? Everyday choices, everyday stitching, everyday, whatever, so that by the end of your life, you've built up whatever's going to be your legacy. So anyway, very interesting. I was really, I really enjoyed reading those comments. So thank you very much if you, participated in that. So I'm going to go right into something that's kind of legacy, because this is something that's to me is a little sad. Some people, it probably doesn't bother at all. But I mentioned that my husband and I were out flea marketing on this past Saturday. And, I always keep my eyes open for stitching implements or just anything that, it has to do with our craft, right? And I walked into one booth, and there were 5 cross-stitch items. And I purchased 2, and I'll show you this. This is the first one, and it's for needlework. And they had it professionally framed at Michael's. So, it's not a super fancy frame, but, and it's done on Aida. But I just liked it. And I will tell you, this was $8. So I had to get it. I had to rescue it. So is that part of your legacy? Your things end up in a flea market? Maybe. Now the next one, I had to get the person in that booth, evidently probably had done a house clean out or a garage sale or something. And that needlework piece was there together with 4 others that were all Noah's Ark. And they even had like a cross-stitched little plaque thing that said Noah's Ark Collector. Well, I have been working on a Noah's Ark design for my granddaughters, and I saw this one. And I had not seen this one before. Now, this needs to be cleaned. I'm going to have to soak it in probably some cold water. It's Ada, 14 count Ada. I'm probably 100% sure that this is going to be like a DMC type floss. It potentially was a kit. You know, hard to say. But I loved this design, and I had not seen this particular rendition of Noah's Ark. To me, the animals look like they're just almost leaping off of the page, or off of the design. So I'm going to clean this up. You can see right here where there was some staining, and then it needs to be, you know, reframed. It was framed at Michael's at one point. Who knows how long ago. The back is all torn up, but I really love this. Really, really nice. And this one was $20. Now, how much time did this take? A lot more than $20 an hour, right? So, very cool. Now, that's somebody's legacy, right? If I give it to my grandchildren, you know, should I write on the back that this stitch was rescued in February of 2023? I didn't stitch it. Anyway, interesting questions. And then the last thing that I picked up were this set of 3 huge stockings. Love, joy, and peace. I just thought these were really, really cute, and they're really large. I mean, these are a good 18, 20 inch, you know, stockings, and it's all quilted on the front, and just really cute. So I picked those up. Now, those I don't know if I'm going to keep, or I may do them as a giveaway, or may throw them into the vintage section of the shop. I'm not sure yet. I have a whole slew of vintage items that I need to get into the shop. I just literally haven't had the time to get pictures of everything and create the listings and get them in. But anyway, so kind of interesting. And so I thought, you know, that kind of fit in with our discussion of legacy. And so I thought I would show those rescues. Okay, moving on. Okay, so let's get to some of my stitching and some things I hope that might be legacy pieces at some point. I did have 4 things that I had taken for some framing, and you heard me in the last couple of videos talk about getting our lasting friendship finished, and with the encouragement of my good friend Ginger, she and I had finished our lasting friendship, and I took this to her framer and had it framed, and they called, and it was ready yesterday. So I was excited because I was able to show you guys that I did indeed get it finished, and it's FFO'd. So I love this. I did change up the colors just a tad bit. I darkened them. I threw in some mulberry, or no, I apologize, not mulberry, cayenne, Classic Colorworks cayenne, into some of the little darker spots to kind of give it just a little more dimension, a little more pizzazz. It's a very muted color palette full of golds and light greens. So anyway, here we go, our lasting friendship, and this commemorates some of the ladies that, not all of them, but some of the ladies that were part of the Stitching Club at Quilter Station that I've become really good friends with, and they took me in right when I moved back to Kansas City. We didn't have a Stitch Club when I was here before, So this is a very precious piece to me. And thank you, Ginger, so much for your encouragement and for the suggestion of Mary, the framer. And since I was taking that, I went through my pile, and I have a huge pile of things to be FFO'd and or framed, or however I'm going to finish them. And one other one that I wanted to take was this one. This is an ink circles piece. And I really love how this turned out. You can kind of see that the edging on this frame has a bit of a kind of a gold tone to it, which I thought worked really well with the outside border of this particular piece. Love, love, love this. And then, not this past year, not 2022, but 2021, my birthday start with my birthday sister, Becky, who socks for Mom. We stitched with Thy Needle and Threads Peacock at Manor Hill. I think that's what this is. I always get confused on the name of this. Anyway, so it's been in my to be finished somehow pile for a while, and I got it framed as well. So really love this, and it looks so nice framed. I sent a picture to Becky yesterday and was like, finally, it's all finished, ready to go. So very happy with that one. And then last but not least, I took one small piece, and this is Evergreen from Blackbird Designs. It's an out of print chart that I have, and it's a small one, but it's really lovely. And it's a, you know, Christmas winter type, you know, piece. Probably something though that once I hang it, it'll probably stay out. I'm not going to put this away. But what I may do is, you know, maybe pull it off the wall, you know, from my craft room or something, and maybe bring it down and hang it or put it on an easel, you know, at Christmas or winter time in my decor. But it's definitely not getting, you know, put into a box or anything for the rest of the year. It's going to stay out. I was very happy with this one too. So this one's Evergreen for Blackbird Designs. So those were my 4 framed finishes. So very excited about that. Some things out of the pile, and you know, I kept thinking, gosh, you know I've stitched more things than what I have, you know, out. And well, you know, when I go to look, and when I say you're hanging in the pile, they're not hanging in the pile. I hang all of my finishes on clipped, like clothing. They're clothing hangers with clips, but they're with silk on them, so you use them to hang, say if you've got like a velvet skirt or velvet pants or something like that. They have a specific type. They're not metal clips or anything like that. So anyway, I hang them, and then I have a bag that I put over the whole thing as it's hanging in my closet, my craft room. So sometimes they get to, you know, they're up there hanging and I forget what's even up there. Okay. So I have one more finish. Now this one isn't FFO'd yet, but in the middle of my couple of weeks, I got to Valentine's Day, and I pulled out my Mrs. Campbell from Hens Across the Seams, going to work on Mrs. Campbell. And then I had such a tiny start from last year, and I thought, oh, this is overwhelming. So I went up to my kits, my baskets, the things that were kitted, and I remembered that I had this one kitted. It's from Ben Creek. It's Find Your Way to Love, and it's just a cute little design. So I pulled it out and stitched it. So I started this actually really late on Valentine's evening. I want to say it was probably not even like maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock. And it was, of course, that's the benefit of having things kitted and ready to go, right? You can go and just on a whim pull something out and stitch it. And I finished this in just a couple of evenings, so probably about 3 hours total. It's got some sweet little beads on it, and that is now going into the FFO pile to be finished, fully finished. So those are my FFOs and my finish. So I was very happy about that. Okay, let's see. We got stitching rescues. Okay, so what have I actually been working on in addition to the Find Your Way to Love, which was a couple of evenings? Well, shortly after my last episode, Birds of a Feather, Happy Heart Sampler was released from 1884 Stitchery. And I did go and purchase Happy Heart Sampler and literally began to stitch it the next day. Now, I know that there have been some issues because McKenna subsequently, about a week later, had to pull this one and Sally Spencer off of her website because of a miscommunication. And I've purchased from McKenna. I know McKenna. I truly do not believe that McKenna would endanger her livelihood and her business just to sell some copies of some charts. And so because of all the certain opinions that are out there and things like that, when I had told one of my good friends, what do you stitched on? I told her, and she goes, oh, I have that one. If you want me to lend it to you, you can. And I said, oh no, it's okay. I have, I had just purchased it. Well, when everything happened, I reached back out to her and said, I would like to borrow yours if that's okay. And so she let me have hers, or sent me a copy of hers, and so I could keep stitching. And this is how far I have gotten. So I had stitched about four evenings. And then when everything happened, obviously, I didn't stitch on it for a couple of days. And then I received Ginger's copy and began to restitch. So I am stitching this on 40 count, the Primitive Hair, Old Massachusetts. I really love this. So this was a new start, and it's going to stay in my current rotation. Okay. Now, this is kind of pitiful. My Sunday, his eye is on the Sparrow from Heartstring Samplery. I know most of you have seen this one. This last Sunday was Super Bowl Sunday, folks. I was so nervous. I normally can stitch all the way through a game. I look forward to Sundays, when there's a football game in the afternoon and I can sit for about 3 hours and just stitch and enjoy football. I was so nervous that I just couldn't do it. So the only thing that I even put in was this little guy right here. I'm not even sure what he is. Maybe a yak or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I got him in. I thought, oh gosh, you know what? I can't be looking at this. I can't count. So I'll just run this line over because it goes all the way over. Well, I got probably 5 or 6 stitches, and then something major happened in the game, and I was like, that's it. And I put it aside, and that was all she wrote, folks. So not too much progress on my Sunday stitch. I will work on Sparrow this afternoon. I need to reach out to Christy, who's my stitching partner from Crosshatch Quilts, and see how she's doing, because we haven't caught up in a couple of Sundays. So, but it is what it is. It's not something I expect to have finished this year. Maybe if I can have it finished by the end of next year, I'll be thrilled. Okay, now you heard me refer to Mrs. Campbell. And Mrs. Campbell is a lovely sampler that was released last year right before Valentine's. This is from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. You see that? And look at the hearts. I love the hearts. It's so appropriate for Valentine's, and it's such a feminine looking piece. The colors are so soft. So I had originally thought I would pull this out for the 14th, and then kind of took a little dive over sideways. So I ended up pulling this one out then on Friday night. And then I took it with me yesterday to Sampler Club, and my friend Kay said, oh, remember I started that with you, last year. And I was like, I'd totally forgotten that we had started it together. It was a start along, not a stitch along. And so we kind of agreed, why didn't we kind of set up our own little schedule and stitch, Mrs. Campbell together? And I was like, okay, let's do that. So it's very easy. I can't show you the pages because obviously that, shows the chart, but it's not a stitch heavy sampler by any stretch. So we decided we're going to stitch each page together, and when one finishes, we'll let the other one know, and when the other one finishes, they'll say, okay, I'm done, and then we'll decide, okay, page, here's the next page, and we'll just stitch on that together, and kind of set up goals for each other, and I think that'll work well, because then you're not so overwhelmed with, oh, I got to do the whole thing. But I do love this, and I don't want it to languish, and that's what it's been doing. It's been languishing. The cool thing is it's another whip out of my pile that's gonna get some love, and hopefully a finish. So I did my first page finished it up about midnight last night. You see that? And this is on 46 count shadows, which was in my stash. It's from Victorian Motto. So that's Mrs. Campbell. So Mrs. Campbell's gonna get some, oh gosh. Oh, sorry about that. I'll edit that crash out. Okay. Next. So I know I said I was gonna go right back to Jane Cowie. There's Jane from Scarlett House. But I didn't. The Happy Heart sampler derailed me. So Jane was pulled out yesterday morning because I took her and Mrs. Campbell to Stitch Club with me, because I just grabbed two on my way out the door. And anyway, I ended up not doing anything on Mrs. Campbell yesterday during Stitch Club, and ended up working on Jane Cowie. And this is my progress on Jane. And then I brought her home last night and gave her about 2-3 hours of some stitching love, and then finished up the small page finish that I needed to do for Mrs. Campbell. And Jane's gonna stay out. She's going right on my stitching chair, so that starting tomorrow, because today is Sparrow Day, starting tomorrow, I'm gonna work on Jane for this week. So I did get more up the sides with the buds, the flower buds. And I finished the second red house. I finished the trees around that second house. And before someone, calls it out, I'm going to hold this a little closer so you can see. I did make a major boo-boo that I am slowly fixing. Okay, so here's your center, and that one goes straight down. These go to the side and head up. These should go to that side and head up. Well, if you'll notice, only this one goes to that side. These are all going in the same direction. I don't know what I was doing. So at the end of the last couple of sessions of stitching, what I've done is I've ripped out, like I ripped this one out last night. It was facing that way, and restitched it going that way. So after I do some other work, I'll probably rip out another one and slowly get them going in the correct direction. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them to turn going the other way. I was very frustrated with myself for doing that. I was just stitching away, not paying any attention whatsoever to the chart. I just got going and kept going. So, but there's Jane. So next thing to do probably will be the bird. So there's the lovely Jane. So, okay. Hopefully I won't have another crash. Okay, let's see. Moving right along. I have a tiny bit, actually only one thing of haul that I'll show you, and that is from the Threads of History Club from Country Sampler. This lovely, lovely kit that came. It's from Chessie and Me. It's the Bertha May Brown sampler, and it is so appropriate for this time of year with the hearts and the colors that are pinks and reds. Here is the color palette. See that without the glare? And I believe this is on Old Gold from Fiber on a Whim linen. So very, very pretty. So I thought I would show that one because it just kind of goes right along with what my theme for my giveaways are going to be this time. So I have 2 things that I'm going to be giving away. If you'd like to participate, just please don't use the word freebie or giveaway or anything like that, because I want this to go to someone who truly wants to stitch it, or stitch them both, since there's 2 things. And I have, the first one is a Sweetheart Etui kit. And this is really adorable. Look at that. And it's complete. It comes with everything there. So you've got the heart, and encased in the heart is the twine, the beads. There's a pin. There's the material, everything. It's just super, super adorable. Sweetheart Etui. Etui, I guess maybe how you say it. So if you're interested in the Sweetheart Etui, use the word sweetheart, please, in your comment, because that's the word that I will search for, the keyword. And the next one is from my good friend Judy. She's such a lovely lady and just a beautiful designer. This is the Alphabet Hearts. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? Her designs are so just, I don't know, feminine maybe, so elegant, which kind of matches her. She's a very elegant lady. So if you're interested in stitching Alphabet Hearts from JBW Designs, just use the word hearts. And that's the keyword that I will search for. And happy Valentine's, everyone. Happy February. So there's the giveaways for this next video. Now, I will probably film from Nashville. It will not be a regular floss tube episode. So when I use the random comment generator to give these away, it will probably be my next regular video where I'm back home. Adam and I hope to do some filming while we're in Nashville, maybe for a regular episode, but also maybe a little bit of live filming. So we're gonna give it a shot and see. It's a little bit of madness there, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. So, all right. So that's our hauls and giveaway. Make sure you're 18 because you will have to give me your address. And good luck. Okay, so let's see what we have left on here. Looks like that's about it. I'm gonna start talking just a little bit about the shop and a little bit of a market update, some notable new designs that I love. And if you are ready to bounce, then thank you for stopping in to visit with me today. And if you'd like to see just a few things, I don't usually talk about the shop just a whole lot, but I'll just go through a few things. And so here we go with that. So I just thought I'd point out, there was just a couple of things. These were a couple of things that just totally appealed to me. You give me a funky bird and I'm there. I absolutely love these kind of designs. Very fracturish, folk arty. I think they're pretty cool. So this was a new one that came from Scattered Seed Samplers, and it's from the Early Bird Pin Keep series. And it's called the Gathering Together Pin Keep. So I thought that was pretty cool. I wanted to show you that one because that one I'm keeping one copy for my stash. And then Wendy from the Heart Needle Art by Wendy, say that fast 5 times. She has come out, last year she did the monthly Quaker series, which was very popular and just adorable small designs. And this year she has come out with the Little Sampler series, and they're all adorable. There's been, I think, 3 or 4, but this one really caught my attention. And this is Susan's Little Sampler that just came out a couple of weeks ago. Isn't that butterfly adorable? I love this. And what she has done is she's taken little chunks of bigger samplers and made adaptations in little samplers, because not everybody wants to stitch a ginormous sampler. And I just think this one's adorable. So this one kind of made its way to my stash as well. So take a look for those, those if you're interested. I have to apologize. I have been very remiss in getting regular newsletters out. I am so not a real techie person, and so it takes me forever and a day to get a newsletter put together. I'm one of those people who I can generally figure things out, but I'll have to read the instructions and then figure it out. And so for every step of the way, it's just been kind of a painful process. But I do have a newsletter just about ready to go out, and it is going to feature a lot of new releases that are about to come out at Market. And for those of you who are not familiar with what Market is, I apologize, I should have defined that. The Nashville Needlework Market, which is a wholesale market, takes place the first weekend in March every year, and it's in Nashville, Tennessee. And typically there's about 135 exhibitors who are there. And then couldn't even tell you how many shops are there, but everybody has their room that you can go into. They have set up, all their new releases. A lot of times they also bring, older designs. They'll have special things that are only available at Market that, that the shops can, look at and choose to purchase if they wish. They'll have sometimes exclusives, where only shops attending Nashville Needlework Market can purchase those for a certain amount of time before then they're released to the general population of shops to be able to order. So it's kind of a perk for going to Market, because you do spend a lot of time and money and effort and to go. So that's a little bit of a reward for the shops who, are attending and do purchase from specific designers. So anyway, it's a crazy and fun time, and you just get to see so much creativity, and it's pretty fun. So that we will be leaving on Thursday the 2nd. If you wish, I quit doing this a couple of years ago because I did get burned just a little bit, and learned my lesson. I don't set up listings for pre-order any longer through my shop. And the reason I don't do that is because I had placed some pretty large pre-orders with some designers and then got to Market and they didn't have the product. And it took months to even get the product. I would get a little bit at a time. And unfortunately, because I'd set up as a pre-order based on the fact that I had ordered them and gotten a confirmation, I had customers who had purchased, through those pre-order listings, and they had to wait months. I just that made me a nervous wreck. I don't like taking people's money unless I have the product in hand. So what I will do is I will shop for you. And I have had several customers who, message me their lists, and I have all these lists in a nice, organized book. And then I take each item that they've given me and I apply it to the shopping for that specific designer's room. And then I check it off as soon as I've got it, pull one, it goes right into that person's shopping list. And once that shopping list is complete, and when I return home and we've pulled everything and it's all gathered together, then I will invoice that, that individual, and then they can pay for it, and it gets sent right out. So I feel much more comfortable with that. I will admit that, I go to market with obviously no sales cash in hand. It's speculation for me. Whereas before, when I set up pre-orders, sometimes I would go with already as many as 350, 400 pre-orders already purchased and paid for. But I don't know. It made me a nervous wreck, and I just don't like taking people's money until I have those things in hand to send to them. So if you're interested, you can email me with lists of things that you would like for me to shop. I will go as your personal shopper, and I will communicate with you if there's questions along the way, and especially when I get down there, and if something happens, I'll let you know. Anyway, that's how I do market. I'll get the newsletter out to everybody. If you wish to be a recipient of the newsletter, just email me. You can also subscribe through the link in my Instagram, Hollis Hands Create, at Hollis Hands Create on Instagram, or at McMama Hollis, which is also me. That's where I do more displaying of my personal, stitching and things from my personal life. But I have the links set up, and so you can reach, my shop or the newsletter or something through both. Those tags are in the description box. I think that's it. That's all I really wanted to chat about today. It's about 43 minutes. It's long enough. Let you get on about your day. I hope everyone's having a beautiful Sunday. I hope your weather hasn't been bad. We've been really cold at different times over the last month or two, but today is beautiful. So I've done a lot of my chores early this morning, watched my Sunday service online, and I think I'm gonna head out and get the car washed. So it's like supposed to be 60, 62. It looks gorgeous. It's nice and sunny. So then the afternoon I'll have to come back, and I think I'll sit and stitch. So I don't get the opportunity to do that just a whole lot, especially right now with market going on, because I'm on the email and doing all kinds of things, but I'm gonna give it a little while. So it was nice stitching last night. So anyway, I hope you're having a great day, and I hope it gets even better. Thank you for visiting with me, and take care. Make sure, create every day. All right now, bye-bye.